I woke up somewhere I'd never even been before. I remember thinking to myself, I've got to get back to the base as soon as possible. There's no way. And it sort of come to me at that moment that I need to make a map. I need to find out where I am. I need to know my route back. I need to know how fast I can get back. If it's even worth it, at this stage if I'm over at the other side of the island, it's probably not. After making the map, I discovered I was a hell of a lot further than I wanted to be, but not far enough to call it a day. It was easy for me to get back, a straight route almost. So I planned out my route, and I started my way there. I figured on the way nothing will change between what my base looks like now and what my base will look like in an hour's time, so I decided to collect some resources, and that I did. I wanted to collect as much wood, stone and metal as possible, so if it did come to having to rebuild my base, I had the facility to do so. As daylight was swallowed by night, I carried on. I remember stumbling across a furnace and marking it on the map, because if I needed to melt down this metal to make metal fragments, this was the place that I was going to do it. I carried on a little further and knew I was coming close, because I noticed the big looming dome that was right by my old base. I stopped for a second because I could hear something good. It wasn't a helicopter, but it was a plane, and the only thing I know about planes is they drop a lot of good loot. I hit some barrels, and as if magic, the plane was gone and loot was falling from the sky. I knew I was the only one around. I mean, I confirmed that myself. So now, it was my time. My time to collect my loot that I deserved, that I ran halfway across the map to get. As I tore open the loot with excitement, I took all the goods. C4, guns, computers, and even a mining quarry. Whatever I was going to rebuild, it was going to be awesome. As daylight emerged, I recognised the rock. That was where my base was. I knew it. Well, was. I wasn't sure what I was going to come around the corner to, but as I noticed, I realised it's probably not worth replacing. I distracted myself a little bit by mining a rock, and then realised, either way, I'm going to have to approach it. My biggest regret is the lack of caution. I wasn't even armed with my gun at this point. I had no idea what I was coming up against. I knew there was no one around, but what I didn't account for was the wolf waiting underneath the base to get me. I didn't even notice. I was too busy looking through the only bit left of the base. I armed my gun as quick as I could and shot every single bullet. And when aiming, I realised I had no ammo, and that was my time. I was killed. I respawned, and the first thing I did was make a map. I wasn't hanging around, not even for the floating guy in the sky. I knew with every step I took that my body was closer and closer to decomposing, and every single thing I've worked for in the last 2 hours would be gone forever. I just kept running and running, almost straight towards the base. I ignored everything in my way. There was probably a lot of stuff I could have picked up with barrels, etc., but I just kept going. I got to the base, and sure enough, Mr. Wolfie was there, back in his spawn position. I wonder why we never saw him before. Why we built our base on top of a wolf. But after looking around, I realised my body was no longer there. I was out to seek revenge. Now, I know this wasn't an accident. Someone killed me in cold blood, and I know it was with a shotgun. And not only did they kill me, they killed my friend as well. This base was protected, and the only reason I killed the guy the one time that I did was because he was out in the open, and I didn't want him living that close to me. As I stumbled across the hill, I realised a half-built kind of shacky type base. Now this could potentially have been built with my resources, and I was going to make it my job to get in there. But raiding that base, that was going to have to wait. I was getting tired. You can't do things like this on an empty stomach. So it was time for me to get some sleep. I made a floor to put the sleeping bag on, but I wasn't foolish enough to sleep there. I hid my belongings in a bush, and I slept in the bush next to it. And it gave me some serious inspiration for when I wake up.